Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock miner, Brian Johnson. I'm making professional trading simple. And I think the chart pretty much says it all. It appears we went up today. Up about 200 points. Just by looking at it actually looks a little worse than it was for the Bears. It was up 200 points and really just straight up from the very beginning of the day. We had a overnight everything gapped up, and from the time it opened today, it obviously, I mean, just look at the chart, you can see that it didn't do anything else but run straight up. The Dow breaking all of these levels, and this was, things that I warned you about over the weekend. This is why you can't get influenced into thinking that it's going to do one thing or another. Like I said, I heard all kinds of other people had told me, oh, so and so saying this and so saying that, and they have, they've been doing this for years, and their analysis is right. And you're right. I mean, they have been doing it for years. I have a lot of respect for some of the other bigger news, letters that are out there. I just do things a little differently. That's all. Doesn't make it right or wrong. Just makes it different. And in this case, I gave you guys a warning and said, well, I can't really see a bearish or a bullish, sentiment here. It was kind of caught in between, and we were just going to let the charts make our decision for us. I don't want you to let me make your decision for you. I just wanted the charts to make the decision for us. And it did pretty clearly this morning when it broke this level here, continued up, and when it broke these highs, I said you're going to see a lot of bears cover, and that's precisely what we did. It just continued to run up from there as the bears ran for the hills in the Dow, and all the other indices followed. There's a couple other things I've been following with my subscribers, and I'm going to talk to them about it next. And they're going to find out that, yeah, I mean, there was a few other things that we needed to look at, and that all turned out to be extremely valid in the grand scheme of things for this morning and the direction of the stock. So anyway, let's dive into it. It is what it is, but it was a great move by the bulls today to really tear this thing straight up. An immense amount of power, and really a big surprise at this point, seeing how we are up so much. If we look at a daily of the Dow, you can see now we have broke two new highs. This little gray trend line I drew in here was I said was kind of a spec thing. If it was going to turn, it needed to turn there. Of no consequence now. It's broken. It's broken to new highs. Bulls are still in control. Very surprising, actually. I'll be honest, very surprising for me to see this, simply because we have been up, through all of this. We broke these lower channels on the other indices and on this one as well. But fake out breakout at this point, just enough to suck in the bears, and the bulls took over again. So another huge move by the bulls up and over the top of this for the Dow. You can see that's what a lot of these runs have looked like in the past. They've hit this bottom channel and they've run straight up hard to the top. Hit the bottom. Now this one broke through down here, but hit this other support. I think this was that Head and Shoulders, maybe everybody was watching, and ran straight up. This one's doing the exact same thing. Now it's bouncing off of this 50-day moving average and moving straight up. I had also made mention that we need the Dow to break this 50-day moving average and really establish something below there to get bearish, but we just never saw it. And the bulls took over with a lot of zest today. I didn't really check the volume, though. Let me just flip over to the SPY. Hold on, that won't help us. Let's go over to the diamonds right now. Yeah. So, still not a lot of participation down here, though. That's the one thing the bulls or the bears still have to hold on to, is that the volume is just ridiculously low here compared to what we saw on these moves down right here. Nice move up in volume here as the markets move down. The markets are moving up. The volume is moving down, falling out of it. But you know what? It really doesn't matter. I mean, the price is still going up. So if you're bearish and you're long-term bearish, you're probably okay. I mean, I can't see this thing holding on for long. These have been some incredibly huge, strong moves towards the end here on very little volume, and so eventually, maybe we see a retest of the top of that trend line that we've all been watching here on the Dow. I'm going to have to go in now and draw in a few more resistance lines that go back a ways, because I don't have anything on this page going back to June for sure that give me any kind of a resistance zone up here. So I'll make sure and do that when we're done here. If we skip ahead to the NASDAQ, you can see on the 60 minutes, same type of thing. Now, I'm going to show you something else too on the NASDAQ that we were looking at. But remember, I said Friday, this is all very bullish behavior. Watching this here, it was making an ascending triangle, and that proved to be valid. We got the gap up today. This move above 1750, which was on the daily, you can see, was a point of contention where we saw a confluence of resistance. The issue is here, and if we zoom in, we can really see this. Overnight, this is the one thing you cannot you cannot really prepare for, and that's the gap up and over this stuff. Apple did the same thing. It was unable to get through some resistance. It tried over and over and over and over again to get through resistance, and the only way it beat it was to one night gap over it, and it gapped way up and over the resistance, and when it came back to retest it, it was then able to hold as support and took off from there. This has done the exact same thing. This was going to be very strong resistance had we climbed up to it gradually. We didn't do that. We gapped right up to it, up and over it, and it just took off from there. The bears covered and said, yeah, whatever, I'm done. So now we're looking for the double top area ultimately for the NASDAQ and the SPX as well, where the Dow has already broken ahead to new highs. From a weekly standpoint, we do still have a few days left, so we're still like way early in the week. So I'm probably not going to pay a whole lot of attention to this right now since it's like Monday. But so because this could change very drastically by the end of the day or by the end of the week. But if you take it for what it is right now, it looks like we're headed back up towards this upper area here in the 1800 area on the Nasdaq from a week.